Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Congo TV. Ladies and gentlemen, before watching this video, make sure you're subscribed to Congo TV so that you don't miss a content that we upload on this channel. And also leave a like and a comment, also share this video. Ladies and gents, it's sad that we have to keep discussing these stories. These sad, tragic and melancholic stories. But we have to do it. We have to discuss it. We have to talk about it. We have to address it. It's a reality that we have to face, unfortunately. Ladies and gents, I'm pretty sure most of you, if not all of you, have watched this video of Rayshard Brooks, the 27-year-old man that was shot by a police officer last week on Friday at night in Atlanta. For those that haven't watched this video, let's watch.
My man, you didn't mean go back to sleep. You gotta move your car. You went back to sleep. You went back to sleep. Okay, why don't you move your car into a parking spot, okay? Right now.
Alright.
Alright, don't go back to sleep. Just pull over there.
I got you.
Okay, alright, thank you.
Alright, just take a deep breath in, put your mouth over the mouthpiece, blow as hard as you can until I tell you to stop. Blow, 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 stop. Very good.
I just had a few drinks, that's it.
How many?
You want to give me a burger or something,
Right.
just take me home. I'm ready to go.
So you had about 1.5 drinks, but you don't remember what kind of drinks they were?
No, sir.
Alright.
I really don't, Mr. Ross.
Alright, I think you've had too much to drink to be driving. Put your hands behind your back for me. Here, put your hands behind your back. Hey, stop fighting! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! Stop fighting! You're gonna get tased! You're gonna get tased! Stop!
Mr. Ross!
Stop!
Come on, man.
Stop! You're gonna get tased!
Mr. Ross!
Hands off the fucking taser! Hands off the taser! Stop fighting! Hands off the taser!
Damn.
So that's not, the full video, but that's like kind of a summarized video of what happened. So it was this guy who is Brooks who went to Wendy's. He wanted to buy something to eat, but because he was too drunk, he fell asleep in the line, in the drive-through line. So when the people had to go around him to order their food and get their food, because he was sleeping there and he didn't move. And when the workers at Wendy's felt like the guy was interfering their business, they decided to go and wake him up and have him move. But he woke up and he fell back to sleep, according to the person that called 911. So then, because of that, they decided to call 911. And so the police officers came. And when the police officers came, they woke him up for the first time and he fell back to sleep. And then second time, told him to move. He finally woke up and moves his car and parks it where he was ordered to park it. Parked it at the right spot. So then he had a conversation or interrogation, however you want to call it, with the police officers. They had this nice discussion. The guy seemed to be very polite. He was very polite to the officer during the interaction they had with the police officer. They were asking him all these questions. Did you drink? How much did you drink? What did you do? All these questions. The Brooks seemed to be very polite to the police officer. He was answering and he was calling him sir. Even the police officer was being very good to Brooks. So it was two good human beings interacting, or two normal human beings interacting, because that's how normal human beings should interact. They're interacting nicely, using a nice police officer and a nice citizen, or a nice civilian interacting. So the conversation was good. Now, it reached a point, after having him take the sobriety test, which he failed because he was drunk, of course. He failed the sobriety test. Then, they told him he was too drunk to drive. They were about to handcuff him. That's when popcorn started popping. That's when the things turned upside down. That's when things went crazy. Brooks started resisting, and because he was resisting, so Brooks started resisting. That's the first wrong step right there. He started resisting. He started fighting the police officers. So the police officers warned him first. Stop fighting. Stop resisting. We're going to test you. You're going to get this. You're going to get this. So the guy Brooks keeps wrestling them, keeps fighting them. So he beats those two police officers and starts running with their taser in his hand. Let's stop right there. Yeah. How can two police officers be incapable of handling one guy? Not just one guy, but a drunk person. How can two well-trained police officers not be able to calm down, not be able to maintain, not be able to handle one drunk person? I don't get it. The person that they said is too drunk to drive, the person who they didn't let walk home even though he requested, the person who was sleeping in his car for a while because he was too drunk. That guy beat up two police officers. Two police officers should be able to handle one person, and especially that the guy was drunk, because that's what they arrested him for. That's what they were trying to handcuff him for. They say he was too drunk to drive. If you couldn't let him drive home because you thought he was too drunk, if you didn't let him walk home because you thought he was too drunk, of course, even the test proved that he was too drunk. How can that person beat up two police officers, and even not just that, but even take one of their tasers and start running away with it? I think a well-trained police officer should be able to handle a drunk person. One thing I know about drunk people is that they're heavy, so lifting them up is probably tough. But the guy, that was not about lifting, it was maintaining the guy, handcuffing the guy and arresting him. But these two police officers were incapable of doing it. These officers had no capacity of doing that task right there. I think a police officer should handle somebody who's resisting arrest this way. Yeah, that guy had that weapon in his hand, and this police officer had nothing in his hands. With his bare hands, see how he handled that guy. Yeah, that's how a police officer should handle somebody who is resisting an arrest, especially if they have a weapon. That guy is from Congo, so America should probably start taking their officers to Congo so they can train there. No, Congo has their own issues with their police, but I feel like those two police officers don't fit to be police officers. I'm sorry. I feel like those two police officers were incompetent. I feel like those two police officers were incapable of doing their job. If a police officer is not able to arrest somebody who is resisting arrest, not just one, two police officers were not able to do it, then I don't know. Then I don't know what to say. How are they a police officer? Because a police officer, if somebody is resisting arrest, the police officer has to come up with a mechanism that's stronger and more strategical than they resist, so that he can arrest the person. And that should not be shooting them. That should not be using a deadly weapon, especially when the person who is they're arresting doesn't possess a deadly weapon. Okay, let's pass that stage. So the guy has their taser, right? Starts running, and the police officers behind him, chasing him. And then the guy, as he was trying to shoot the taser at one of the officers, now as he was returning his hand while running, one of the officers reached to his hand, to his gun and shot the guy twice, according to the news. But we had 3 shots. But they said they shot him twice. I don't know if one shot missed him. So, was this justified? Is this does the fact that he was running with their taser? There's the fact that he was trying to shoot one of the officers with the taser. Does that justify his shooting, his death? Because, oh no, a taser is not a deadly weapon. And one fact about this issue is also that the guy, one fact and unique fact about this issue is that the guy was drunk. If somebody is drunk, then you know they won't act or behave appropriately. You know they won't behave appropriately. So you also have to find ways to handle him, of course. So because the guy was drunk, they could not handle him. They were not strong enough to handle him. Then he starts running. And these two police officers were not able to trace him and catch him because he's drunk, right? If somebody is drunk, he cannot run faster than a sober person, of course, right? Isn't that logic? If somebody is drunk, he cannot run faster than a sober person. No debate on that one. I don't see why somebody who is drunk should be stronger than two sober police officers. And I don't see why a drunk person would be faster than two police officers. I feel like since the guy was drunk, those police officers should have chased him and catch him. Yeah, catch him, maybe chase him, a few more times to calm him down and handcuff him and arrest him. But no, those police officers thought the best thing to do, the best choice for them was to shoot the person. Somebody who was drunk, somebody who they didn't let him drive and go home because they thought he was drunk. Somebody who they didn't let walk home even though he requested it because he was too drunk. And that person, you don't want to chase him and arrest him. You think the best thing to do is to shoot. I don't think resisting an arrest is the worst thing somebody can do. And I don't think it deserves somebody's life. It's worth taking somebody's life because they resist an arrest, especially if they are unarmed, especially if they're not possessing a deadly weapon. If they don't have a deadly weapon, they are not. I don't think it's the best thing to do is to shoot that person. No, I think the police officer should come up with a mechanism of handling this type of people in these types of situations. Yeah, I feel like in the United States, I feel like it's very easy for a police officer to shoot a black person. Yeah. Oh, he resisted an arrest. Oh, he had a gun. Oh, he had this, he had that. All these excuses. But it seems like it's easier to shoot a black person for police officers. I think every black person who resists an arrest has to live like this person.
Jerry, you're gonna get in trouble. Jerry, they're gonna hurt you. Jerry. Jerry, don't do it. Jerry, don't do it.
Yeah, this person resisted an arrest. You saw what he did. He fought the police officers. Not just that. Even after beating them up, he took their car and drove away. He lived. None of those two police officers even touched their guns. None of them did. I'm wondering what would happen if that person was black. I'm just wondering. I think every black person who resists an arrest has to live like this one here too.
Get on the fucking ground now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the fucking ground now! Get on the ground! Put your feet, your hands on your back now! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! You have Get on the ground! Get on the ground now!
Dude, get on the ground.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Watch, I'm hitting you! Ah! 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 You wanna fuck with me, motherfucker? Fuck with me, nigga.
He's chasing the taser didn't phase him. He's gonna shoot him. He's gonna shoot.
Get on now!
He's trying not to use his gun.
Car! Now! Get out! Get up!
Shoot his tires out. Shoot his tire out. He gonna kill himself. Oh, here come the helicopter. Yeah, that's helicopter. Here they come. Shoot his tires out, dude. Don't let him drive away. Oh, he gonna kill himself. Oh, watch out! He's running. Oh, he would have been killed him.
Yeah, you see how the guy is reacting. See how the guy is behaving. And the police officer didn't shoot. Yes, the police officer did not shoot. Yes, it's good. I don't see a problem with it. The problem is that some black people are not don't benefit from that. I think people should leave after resisting an arrest. The best police can be brutal to arrest somebody who is resisting an arrest, but killing them is just too much. I don't think resisting an arrest is the worst thing somebody can do. I don't think resisting an arrest is worth taking somebody's life. No. A police officer should be trained well enough to handle somebody who is resisting an arrest, especially if somebody is unarmed. If somebody is armed, yeah, that's another situation. Yes, if they shoot them, yes. Because if not, then the police officer might die, because, you know, that's the danger there is great. But if somebody is not, if somebody does not have a deadly weapon on them, the police officer should find a mechanism to handle that person. Yeah, I think that's what it's supposed to do. I don't think people should be losing their lives. I don't think people should be wasting their lives only because they resisted an arrest. No, I think what America should do is they should redefine when a police officer is supposed to use their deadly weapon. In America, they need to redefine when a police officer is supposed to use his gun on somebody. Because it seems like any police officer is doing what they think is right. They say he resisted. They say he did this. He had a taser. He fought us. He did this. But that's going to keep happening over and over, and people are losing lives. Life is precious. Life is precious. And the second thing that America has to do, they have to look into their police academies. It seems like some of these police officers are coming out of there, maybe ready mentally, maybe they know the laws and everything, but physically they're not fit enough to handle this type of situation. So I feel like they have to make sure that they train these police officers well enough that they become able to handle this situation, that they become physically fit enough to handle this type of situation. Because resisting an arrest, it doesn't deserve a shooting. Resisting an arrest doesn't have to take somebody to their grave. I should not die because I resisted an arrest. I would never resist an arrest if I was to be arrested. Because the best thing to do when you are to be arrested is to comply. And that's what I would do. I'm just going to pray that what happened to George Floyd doesn't happen to me, because George Floyd was compliant, but unfortunately he still ended up dying. So if I'm to be arrested, I'm going to comply. I'm going to do whatever they tell me to do. I'm just going to pray hard that what happened to George Floyd doesn't happen to me, because complying is probably the best thing to do. I'm not justifying resisting police, because it's not good. But still, at the same time, there's people who are still going to resist. And those people don't deserve to die. The police officer has to be stronger. The police officer has to have tactics, has to have mechanisms to arrest that person. If it means calling more backup, call them. Yeah. But I don't think people deserve to die just because they resist an arrest. Ladies and gentlemen, may God be with us. May God protect us. And remember, we are still together.